Yes, it's What a Boast, a celebration of Reeves and Mortimer. Please welcome your hosts for this podcast, MJ Price and Paula Wiseman.
Hello and welcome to Quad a Boast, a podcast dedicated to the work and genius of Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. My name is Matt Price, founder of the Reeves and Mortimer Depository of Curious Stuff Facebook group.
And I am Paula Wiseman, the creator and founder of the Divine Comedians podcast.
We are joined today by an actor, comedian and podcaster who has had a long and varied career in the business we call show. He has worked with everyone from Kenneth Branagh to Peter Kay, from Noel Edmonds to Alan Partridge. You may know him as medium, clairvoyant and psychic extraordinaire Clinton Baptiste, or as octogenarian cabbie to the stars Barry from Watford. There's also a chance that you may remember him appearing alongside Vic and Bob as Ted, the chirpy Cockney footballer in monkey trousers, or as a confused bit part actor in House of Fools. Please enter the Novelty Island paddock, Alex Lowe.
Wow. Hey, nice to be here. Thank you for asking me. I love it. I'm flattered to be a part of something which involves you two, but also involves Vic and Bob. Really,
you've done a lot. You've done a lot, Alex.
Heroes,
we're going to talk about a small smidgen of what you've done.
Okay. There's another thing actually I was involved with. I don't know. Maybe this is in your research. I did years ago for BBC a sitcom pilot called the Honeymoon is Over, and it was me and Vic Reeves was in it playing Colin Bell, you know that character?
Chris Bell.
Yeah. Not Colin Bell, it's the ex-Man City player.
Yes.
Chris Bell. So I mean, I'm really massive fan of those two. So thank you.
Oh, great. Well, yeah, we will get to the honeymoon's over. Let's just talk about, I know you've spoken about this many, many times. So let's go back to your early years and how you got involved in acting in the first place, because you're a bit unusual compared to a lot of our guests who have started as stand-ups or in the comedy industry and have moved into acting. You're sort of the other way around. You were an actor from a kid, yeah?
Child actor, yeah.
Yeah, I was a child actor. I mean, incredibly, because my parents weren't sort of remotely theatrical types. But bless them, you know, they kind of supported me. I went to quite a strict after-school drama school in Pinner in northwest London, where I grew up. And it was just a very old-fashioned, like a drama school. And the two women who ran it were teachers at the Guildhall in London. And they branched off to this thing. And it was really serious actors training. It wasn't a drama club or a muckabout thing. You know, it was deadly serious. And we did a lot of verse and Shakespeare and a lot of improvisation and quite a lot of elocution. I don't know what's happened to me now. I sound common as dog's muck. But you know, we used to do this stuff, and I did it for years and years and years. And of course, the thing is about when you're very young, I started about the age of 11 doing that up until about the age of 18. You're like a sponge. You just do these things. It's a bit of fun. It didn't feel like, oh, this is an actor's training. It's just something that you went and did like a hobby, like anything else. But my parents, I think, always assumed I'd stop being interested in being an actor or what have you. And so I did a few professional roles when I was in my early teens, and then did a degree in drama. And you're right, I'm now much more probably known for doing cabaret comedy, stand-up comedy, although Justin Morehouse always tells me, you don't do that, you do character comedy, which is kind of irritating because I think it's sort of like stand-up. You still have to do jokes, but it's character, you know, character comedy. So that's a rather long answer, but yes, I was an actor. I'm still an actor, but I really, really love this sort of leap I've done to sort of character stand-up.
Yeah, when you were younger and doing a lot of straight acting, were you a fan of comedy and thinking that's a world I'd like to move into, or do you think you're just going to stay as straight acting?
No, I was a massive comedy fan, and I think now it's so funny. Obviously, you're absolutely a product of your environment, and I remember certain things in my dad's side of the family being seen as really important. I remember when Porridge came out with Ronnie Barker. I remember it trailing on the telly, and my old nan going, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to that." And at that age, you go, oh, that's kind of high art, which I genuinely think it is. I mean, absolutely, probably my favourite character comedian was Ronnie Barker. And I always say this, you know, when you see Fletcher in Porridge, for example, part of me can't believe that guy didn't actually exist. It's so three-dimensional and so brilliant and so not like the bloke who sat there in a cravat at or you know with Ronnie Corbett. So yeah, it was a lot of importance put by that. And I also remember I was saying something the other day that I was a massive QPR football fan, and I always remember they used to have a caption contest in the programme where, you know, they'd have a funny pitch and you had to add a caption, you'd win 2 free tickets. And I always remember that being a really, for some reason with my dad, was seen as the absolute pinnacle to be able to write something really funny. And it must have stuck with me. I remember thinking, God, can you imagine writing something that's not to do with that picture that makes a grown man laugh somewhere in an office at QPR?
Yeah.
And you know, we got an honourable mention. I remember we got once, and I thought I was so thrilled. So it's funny how those little formative things stick with you. And so comedy's very much always been my thing, and I don't know why it took me so long to really sort of devote myself pretty much full time to it nowadays.
Yeah. Didn't you say to me that Ronnie Barker used to live quite near you?
Yeah, and Adam, his son, who of course we won't mention him, but he you know, had his trials and tribulations. He used to go to drama school, you know, after school with me, Adam, and I knew his daughter Charlotte Barker. She used to come and teach at the drama school, and so yeah, Ronnie was kind of something of a local celebrity. You know, really, it was great to know that he was from Pinner. You know,
In the 80s, the alternative comedy years, did you go and see much live comedy?
I was really into, I don't know whether you guys had this. Do you remember that vinyl record called We Are Most Amused? And it had, you know, Rick and Aid. It had Attila the Stockbroker on it. So yeah, that period of time in the 80s. I mean, I remember in 1985, me and a couple of hilarious wags from Harrow Sixth Form College went and did the audience spot at the Comedy Store. And we'd be surrounded, there'd be people like Jeremy Hardy was on, Kit Hollaback.
Yeah.
You know, Ronnie Golden, John Sparks was always our favourite, Phil Cornwell, Ricky Grover. And we used to go at Hattie Hayridge, you know, there would be these sort of 80s alternative people. And we did, I mean, I'll never forget that. It was horrific. And I think that's why I still get nervous now, is the horror of going on 3 17-year-olds who thought we were particularly funny with our slightly meta, clever take on comedy. It's like, oh, just tell us a joke. And I remember we came off and what's his bloody name? Oh, my God, can I remember his name? The compere, if only I could remember his name, it'll come to me later, said, don't give up the day job.
Oh,
Which
no.
I think, first of all, is really nasty to 3 17-year-olds who obviously don't have a day job.
No.
What was his
Paper
name?
round.
Yeah, what was his bloody name? You don't see him so much now. I'll think of his name later. But yeah, so we were really into that. We were really into what used to be called alternative comedy. Yeah.
But it's obviously why you went down the character route, that you could, you know, obviously with the prosthetics for Barry and then the hair, obviously, for Clinton, and you're not going on as yourself.
No,
you're kind of
hiding behind
a character.
Well,
behind a character.
I think, you know, I do think that. And with Barry from Watford, when I started, I used to have the full prosthetic face, which as I'm getting older, I mean, I don't need it so much now, but also
the nose and the teeth and the hair.
Exactly. Also, I think it's a bit off-putting, the full mask, you know, and I didn't really realise that. And no one has even commented on it being different. Honestly, people are so great. They're prepared to suspend their disbelief. They never go, but you look 30 years younger than the previous character. It's great. And I think that's true of, since we're on that subject, you know, Caroline Aherne as Mrs. Merton.
Yeah.
There was no real effort to make her look, I mean, you could tell it was a young woman under And no, you know, people just go, oh, yeah, I get it. It's a comedy character. So I don't know why I persisted with all that prosthetics. You live and learn. But
you're putting the work in, Alex.
well, exactly. No, because I haven't tried. But I do think the other thing is, of course, I've often thought, wouldn't it be great to just do stand-up comedy and not be hiding behind a character? But of course, all comedians are hiding behind. It's not really. It's either a heightened version of them or it's a completely invented version.
It's a persona, isn't it?
Yeah, persona, yeah.
So I've often thought, oh God, wouldn't it be lovely to make that switch? I don't think it's be quite as difficult as I imagine it is. You just get in a headspace that says, I'm this stand-up character now,
Yeah. So let's talk about Vic and Bob. Can you remember when you first discovered them as a fan?
Well, yeah, I kept seeing this program advertised, Vic and Bob's Big Night, Vic Reeves'
Big Night Out, yeah.
And I kind of ignored it. It's like one of those things that everyone, I don't think everyone was talking about it, but I was always seeing it and thinking, oh, I don't know what that's about, And I'll be honest with you, I got stoned once at my mate's house. And suddenly, I kid you not,
a light bulb went
on. And I became obsessed with it. It was so surreally funny. And I would say this, surreal, not in the way that, I was never a big fan of the Mighty Boosh, which was, ooh, a load of biscuits in a biscuit, It was just subtly funny. And I really love that surreal humor where there's an element of, you can sort of see the ordinary and the mundane.
Yeah.
And yet it's got a slight tweak to it. I think occasionally Harry Hill is a bit like that as well. It's sort of, you can see some mad logic in it, but it's just slightly twisted. And that's what I loved about Vic and Bob, So, but there was one particular thing that, and you'll know this, and I'm sure everyone else has said this, it was Man with a Stick, last year's work's holiday was 2
weeks away in Greece.
I mean, we used to play that on a loop. I know all the words now, all these years later, 34 years later.
Yeah.
We would be unable to stand with laughter. It was so, and also done so casually.
Yeah.
And also Vic Reeves slightly cocks it up during it.
Yeah.
It was so endearing, that stuff. And that was our favourite. And the other one that was our favourite, which I could play over and over and over again, was Some Gift Ideas If You're Poor, which was get this, sandwich harness thing, which was that, fill it full of grass and get a bit of suds, get the dog's hair and wrap it around. I mean, I would be falling about. Unable to breathe laughing, which, I mean, I go and see comedy all the time now, or I'm doing a gig and I see other comedians. And I don't really laugh. I sort of go, I can see why that's funny, or laugh inwardly. But the days of throwing my head back and laughing was pretty much ended with Vic and Bob.
Yeah.
So, loved it.
I get that when I listen to the Clinton Baptiste podcast.
Oh, you genius. Thanks, man.
Oh, no, I'm more Barry. I'm more Barry.
Okay.
Barry's my big love.
Okay, lovely. Yeah.
Oh!
No, but you're right. Still, to this day, I don't think there's anybody who's made me laugh more watching TV than Vic or Bob.
Oh, yeah.
And and as you say, it's the casual throwaway lines sometimes. And they make themselves laugh as well. That wasn't in the script.
and it used to be, I mean, it's a ridiculous thing, so I don't really like it now. Well, no, I hate the cod amateurish where people corpse and it's cod corpsing and it's not real and it's, oh, ha, we're all sharing a joke. But when it's genuine like that, and when they cock up lines and they just stumble through it, and whoever made it, Channel X, Alan Mark, and the other guy, just decided, we'll just keep it in,
Just keep going,
That's kind of endearing. I don't think you have a world like that now. Everything's edited and watched and analysed and goes up to higher echelons of management to within an inch of its life. You'd never have this, that'll do, that looks funny because they sort of winged it and Vic fumbled the line or whatever. It was kind of charming and real and organic.
Yeah. Oh, I know Linda and Clinton talk about Mrs. Brown's Boys, and obviously, them kind of making stuff like, we messed that up.
Yeah, I hate
all
that.
kind of,
I hate
kind
that.
of why did you do that?
It's sort of knowingly we're going to play out the outtakes. And
Yeah.
I can't bear that idea that, isn't it thrilling that there's an ant on my lovely microphone? Isn't it thrilling that, we got it wrong? I mean, we all know it's pretend. It doesn't, or maybe it's because I work with actors, you hear them mess things up all the time. I just think, well, can you learn your lines properly?
Yeah.
It's just wasting everyone's time.
Some of us have put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, it's a difference between that, knowingly going, aren't we funny in front of a studio audience, getting it wrong, and genuinely being slightly inept, like Vic and Bob were at times, just through their sheer sort of youthful enthusiasm to get it out. I mean, I have to say, genuinely, and this is a shock, I wasn't so mad on stuff they did after that. Smell of Reeves and Mortimer and that sort of thing. I loved Shooting Stars, but immediately I think when they went to the BBC, it didn't really do it for me as much. I mean, I loved that MasterChef sketch.
Oh yeah,
I mean that. I tell a lie, that also had me doubled over. Absolutely superb. So yeah, but I love Shooting Stars, of course, as well. But probably we'll move on to that. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think so the first time I think you worked with Jim was on Honeymoon's Over. Did you meet them or know them at all before that?
No, I didn't, and that was the biggest thrill. I mean, The Honeymoon's Over was written by Paul Whitehouse and Charlie Higson, and it was me and Angela Clark in it, and Mark Williams from The Fast Show. So I then sort of realised they were all in the sort of big gang together, Vic and Bob and The Fast Show lot, and Carolina Hearn. And what happened was we did this pilot, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was going to go somewhere, and it was about a young couple in a flat. And so thrilling to meet Jim doing that. And I've spoken to him since, and he doesn't even remember doing that. He sort of went, "Oh, I remember that now." And so yeah, I didn't really know any of those people. No, I didn't know them. I did an audition and did The Honeymoon's Over, so I didn't know them at all. And then I sparked up a bit of a friendship with Mark Williams. He came over to my house a couple of times, and then we did, out of the blue, this bloody an actor's life, it's so miserable. No one telling me whether we had a series or not with The Honeymoon Is Over.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have an answer. And then suddenly they said, would you want to come in and do a bit I was in the second sketch ever of Suits You, Sir. And it suddenly occurred to me, oh no, this is a special favour because we're not doing The Honeymoon's Over.
Oh, God.
And I was sort of a bit crestfallen. I went and did that sketch. Was I in something else? I can't remember. But, I hung around there for the day and, a bit gutted that we weren't making the sitcom probably.
It's an interesting pilot. It doesn't feel very Paul Whitehouse and Charlie Higson. It's like they're trying to write what they think a sitcom should be.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I remember a plethora of those things in the 90s. Young couple at home swearing at each other. Not my favourite thing, but I did think it did have a little bit of charm between me and her, Angela. And I quite liked the thing with me and Mark. We worked in a post office together. They did have some nice bits in it. And it had that actress who recently died. I can't remember her name.
It is Georgina Hale.
Georgina Hale, who my parents knew from.
Oh, yeah. She was incredible.
That's right. Yeah. So, that was a bit of a shame. But then we did, The Fast Show and did a bit on that. And then I didn't really see Jim for years after that.
Yeah, I think the next time I saw you with them was in Monkey Trousers.
Yes.
Mainly the footballer sketch.
Yes.
It Real Posh Footballers' Wives, was it? Or
50s Footballers' Wives. 50s
Professional Footballers' Wives. That was
right.
It.
So it was me and Alistair McGowan and Ronnie Ancona and Patsy Palmer.
Ted.
Yeah, and it was a very funny idea, what sort of 1950s footballers would be like if there was a TV show like Footballers' Wives.
Yeah.
So it was all very decent. They're all sort of smoking away. And Ian, it's a right piece super out there today. I'll never think there'll ever be a day where Blackpool won't be winning the championship or, all this sort of stuff. And
so was that written by Vic and Bob? Because I know they wrote a lot of that, but not all of it. Was it Alistair?
What? I don't know who wrote. I have a feeling Simon Blackwell may have written that one.
Right.
But I met Matt Berry on that. He's still a mate of mine now, Matt Berry, and I tell you what I do remember about that particularly was, God, I'm such a jack of all trades. I'd been asked to go and host an XFM show, like the pre-breakfast show,
Oh,
which
right.
started at something like 1 a.m. and went on till 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
Well, God knows who was listening, because I used to do a show on XFM and they said, would you?
Students.
And I sort of did this thing. And then the understanding was that I would go and do monkey trousers, but I'd had I had no sleep at all. You know? And I just remember doing that, being absolutely exhausted, completely exhausted throughout the whole day, and grabbing a kip wherever I could. So I looked quite tired in that thing, and I was absolutely bushed.
So did all the sketches on the same day or over a
I
couple of days?
wonder, or maybe it was over a couple of days, but I was certainly doing it for the whole week. So it may have been over 2 days that. It may have been 2 days. But I just remember kipping on the sofa on the set or this sort of thing. Oh, God, torture. I mean, I'm still the same at 57. Someone offered me
Still running around.
half a chance, yeah. I mean, someone has asked me if I want to go appear on Talk Sport as Barry. I've started doing this podcast as Barry. I mean, this may not, when this comes out, this may not have happened, but there was a phone call. Do I fancy going on the sports bar and Talk Sport at midnight tomorrow night? Now, most normal people at 57 would go, oh, can I be bothered?
That's my bedtime.
Yeah, but I think, if it's going to get Barry on the radio, why not? I don't know any other way. It's ludicrous. I think I might have to start remembering how old I am and not be doing that, because my days are full up with Clinton or whatever, But that was the thing. Yeah, always doing something, always thinking that the next thing is my little ticket.
Well, no, but it's held you in good stead, hasn't it? In fairness.
Well, I don't know. It's annoying for people to live with this stupid palm sweating ambition. I don't know whether it's any good for anyone, really.
The other sketch you did on there, I think, was American Cops with Neil Morrissey and Nicola McAuliffe. It was sort of like a spoof American cop drama, like a interview sketch.
Was I in that? I barely remember that.
Yeah, they were in that.
Really? Oh yeah, I vaguely remember. Well, I remember that, and Neil Morrissey, of course, had the great question. If you ever go to a pub quiz, right? This is the answer. How's it go? Hold on. Name Morrissey's only #1 hit.
Right.
Do you know what it is?
I'm going to say Neil Morrissey's only #1 hit would be Bob the Builder.
Correct. And that's what Neil Morrissey told me. And I was like, God, right, Morrissey's only #1 hit. And I was going, there's a light that never goes out, panic. No. I said, well, I can't think of any others. He said, it's Bob the Builder. It was me. Yeah.
Can we fix it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's an interesting show, Monkey Trousers. I've said it before. It does. Some of it works. Hit and miss is the term, I think, only.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, I think what I also played in that was Jimmy Savile, actually, rather alarmingly.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where Vic and Nancy.
Yes. Oh, is that you?
Yes, it's me on the floor going, goodness gracious. And they jump over and land on his nose or something like that.
I think, yes, their nose. They both got long noses.
That's honk, it.
And you're doing a fun run.
And I land on their noses.
Yeah.
Mad stuff.
Yeah, that's not going to get a repeat, is it?
Different times,
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they were lovely, and I still know her, Nancy. I speak to her occasionally, So,
yeah. We've had her on the podcast. She's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I think that you did with them was House of Fools, which you did an episode.
Well, since then, okay, well, then there's House of Fools.
Okay,
I did that.
Which is
I
great.
don't know whether Dan Skinner had a word or Matt Berry had a word and said if there's a little role for Alex.
Oh.
But that was lovely to be in that. That was thrilling to be in that thing. That was a bit of a wing and a prayer and a bit of sort of rewriting on the day and why don't you say this, and it wasn't really set in stone, and there was this little funny improv bits, but that was a big thrill to be in that.
So you're an actor who's supposed to be on another show, I can't remember what it's supposed to be, and you could turn up on the wrong set in full tribal
that's right,
outfit, which is
so
great, and
that was good. And then the other one, Jim came on my podcast and told some very spooky stories. So so honestly, I've worked with lots of famous people, and I can count, the biggest thrill is working with those two, really.
Yeah.
And so stupid, all the bloody really big names I've worked with over the years, and it's those two and footballers.
Yeah.
When I meet my hero football friend, that blows me away more than, half the people I met doing films and things. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I know Paula's not a big football fan, so she won't understand.
Oh, no.
I'm learning. I learn pieces. I was saying about Bob's Atletico Mints. I know a bit more about football now. About players and and managers and all that kind of stuff, purely through listening to the podcast.
I used to go to these memorabilia things, the NEC back in the 90s, and you'd have your Star Wars actors and your Doctor Who actors, and you'd oh great, there's Colin Baker, great, and then they'd have a football area.
Yeah.
As oh my God, there's Ronnie Whelan.
I mean, one of my all-time heroes. I mean, probably. As a kid, I was absolutely obsessed with his Stan Bowles. Now, he's way before your time. But in the late 70s, he was still playing at QPR. And he was like the old-fashioned bad boy of football. Him and Frank Worthington and George Best and Rodney Marsh, these people. Long hair, sort of lazy gait, like it was all so easy, cheeky with the ref. Just absolutely my idea of super cool and funny and great, handsome. And a woman who comes to see me now, comes to all my gigs up north, is his daughter Tracy Bowles. It is the biggest thrill of my life that Tracy, who incidentally my uncle was deputy chairman at QPR for many years, he was on the board of directors, and I met her in 1979 when I was 11. And I remember the name Tracy Bowles because we had a girl in my class called Tracy. Yeah. And I see her now and I think it's so odd. I mean, I was so thrilled to meet his kids. And then I meet them now. They come to my gigs, up north. And
wow.
So, and that's, basically, I mean, they're very nice in their own rights, but I'm so thrilled that I've got some connection with Stan through these people. And they're very, very nice. It's not just about Stan. They're lovely people. So it's really nice to see them.
Just you mentioned Vic coming on your Clinton podcast. And I don't know if you've seen this since, because he tells a story, which he's told a few times, about a ghost that he apparently saw. And on more recent interviews, he said his friends at the time have now said, well, that was us mucking around, yeah? That wasn't really a ghost.
Is that right?
Yeah. And so on more recent interviews, he said, I thought I saw a ghost, but apparently I didn't. Yeah.
Anyone can say anything on my podcast. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. You've worked with a few people who are Vic and Bob cohorts in different things. I was thinking earlier when we started this podcast a couple of years back, our initial guests, every episode we did, we ended up talking about you because they'd all worked with you. We thought we're going to have to do a spin-off Alex Lowe podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we had Tony Way and Reese Thomas. Tony and Reese on. Obviously, you were in Fun at the Funeral Parlour with them, which was great.
Yes,
they're great guys.
They are great guys. I see them as, look, I don't see them enough, but we get together and I always think, oh God, we need to spend more time together. They're great fun. Reese, this precocious talent, we did Fun at the Funeral Parlour. He was about 18 or 19 when he wrote it. And I always felt like an older brother to them. Then I suppose I was considerably older than them at the time, but I played their older brother, Arwell, in this, funeral parlour. And, those jobs when you're younger, just away from home, it was like the most glorified holiday we're being paid for. Lots of gossip, lots of laughs, great guys. They're not remotely the Oxbridge crowd that I'm so chippy about, that I'm always meeting in comedy or at the BBC or something. Just two great blokes from Essex. Love those two. Yeah.
And the stuff Reese has created since then is just genius stuff. There's mockumentaries and Brian Pern and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, Lucy, his wife, Lucy Montgomery, they are so funny to be around. It's very rare you get such funny people. Together. She's so funny, Lucy. She must be the funniest woman of her generation, I'd say, in British comedy.
Yeah, you were in Dodger with them as well, weren't you? Of course, you did.
I did a tiny bit in Dodger.
Yeah,
I liked it because I was unavailable, but I was available for some of it. Anyway, he got me in for some of it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Angelos, Dan Skinner.
Oh, we love
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, he's great. We've been
How did you become paired up?
It's a very strange thing. I think we sort of knew each other to nod to just from jobs, and I remember doing something called Would Like to Meet, and it was this little short drama where I played a waiter, and this person would come in to try and meet guys every day. And I think Dan played one of her potential partners. I don't know. And I think we met on the set there. And then I loved him in, Shooting Stars. And then I think I did the 100 Club. I do this gig at the 100 Club. I used to do it as Barry from Watford, and now I do it as Clinton and occasionally Barry. And I needed a guest, and I thought, I know I'll ask Dan Skinner, who does Angelos. And he came to do that. We hit it off. And then I started doing a show for Fubar. Have you ever had anyone on who did a show for Fubar? God knows what that Fubar thing is. It still going?
No, I don't think it exists anymore, does it? I don't think.
It was a very strange thing. They got a load of money from somewhere to launch an internet radio station, and there seemed to be tons of money sloshing around. So Dan and I went, and I did a show there, and I thought I really need a partner in crime as Barry from Watford. And we tried a couple of people, and then I thought, what about Dan playing Angelos? And we started doing this improvisation, which was just completely off the cuff, and we loved it so much. We then took it elsewhere and started doing the Angelos and Barry podcast, all improvised. Then we fell out with some terrible people who tried to sort of nick our stuff. And then we just kept going. So we've got a new one. It's really frustrating if anyone's listening. The amount of times people say, "Oh, I used to love that podcast you did." We've been doing it.
We're still doing it.
Yeah, we just moved ship. We jumped ship and we called it the all-new Angelos and Barry show. But there's millions and millions and millions of these episodes. We do it every week. And we have a very similar sense of humour, I guess.
Quite smutty.
Puerile.
Yeah, exactly.
But
pushing each other, yeah.
Oh man, no, I've been re-listening to some of the older episodes.
Oh really?
And I swear, the one with Margaret and the ping pong ball.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites.
You just absolutely lose it entirely, and you're laughing for like 10 minutes. Check that one out if you haven't heard it.
Yeah, having just said that I hate people corpsing, unless it's for real, but that was for real.
Oh man, it was just just the way you make each other laugh. You can hear how improvised it is.
But that's
the beauty. That's the beauty of it.
You know what? What I think is so funny and endearing, without being too pretentious about it, is if you have a character of low status like Angelos is, trying to play high status, it's such a funny, cruel conceit, doing all that. Yeah, guys, guys. It's so sort of pathetic to try and pick himself up. Yeah. And it's so British. It appeals to our sort of terrible sense of embarrassment that someone's trying to get above their station. I think that's why it appealed to me so much. It's so transparent that this rather pathetic bloke is trying to set himself on a pedestal. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it does. And I think it's an element of bullying. People sort of like the fact that whatever happens, I'm not as pathetic as this guy.
To get some sponsorship from Londis, the amount of Londis.
Don't talk. I can never get sponsorship for my podcast. I've given up on that. I don't know what. Yeah, I just can't be bothered to just get on with it as it is,
But I do remember when you came to Hereford, where I am, to do the show, you and Angelos, and you want to do a rehearsal during the day, and I was the audience of one person to make sure everything was working well.
Do you think it's
I had to go and get Angelos some milk? I remember that.
Did you think this is terrible?
Yeah, I didn't bother turning up for the evening show.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, we wrote a couple of great shows for Edinburgh, which we then toured around. But I think we're best just improvising, honestly. Yeah. It's such a lot of effort to write a double act and to tour it and to give up time. I just think we achieved the same stuff by just making it up on the spot. So,
and the other Vic and Bob compadre that you worked with on one of Clinton's mystic hunts was Vaun Earl Norman.
Oh yeah, Vaun. Yeah, what a great.
So funny.
Great.
He is funny. I mean, yeah, he's great. And I've got 2 Clinton costumes, so we just stuck him in another one of those and put a wig on him as if he was a sort of strange stalker.
Yeah.
Because he does have a funny look about him when he wants.
It's so funny. He's completely straight. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, it was good, that one.
Yeah, all available on YouTube if anyone out there wants to check those out. So
Yes,
very
please.
good. Yeah. So podcast. You're no stranger to a podcast. You've done a few.
No,
Yeah.
I have done, well, how many I've got? I've got 3 going at the moment. Buckle Up with Barry,
Yep.
Clinton Baptiste Paranormal Podcast, and Angelos and Barry.
Mm.
I'm thinking of doing a new one as well, actually, but I don't have enough hours in the day. I do have to slow down a little bit because I don't know. I end up doing everything badly unless I'm careful. But so yeah, I like the whole. I mean, I probably said this before and other things. Not that anyone's following what I say, but the new digital age, I'm absolutely delighted to have lived in a time where we can do this and we can do this over the internet and we can put it out and people can see it. Because of course, in the old days, what would you do? You'd send in your proposal to Radio 4.
Yeah.
No one would read it. You might get a producer. Then you'd have a meeting about a meeting about a meeting.
Yeah.
That producer would leave. Then it'd be sort of half hell, passed on to someone else who went, actually, I'm going to pass on this. And you'd wasted a year. There were no outlets. There's one outlet, Radio 4. What are you going to do apart from that? Write into the ITV1 and suggest it's pointless. And I did a lot of that, wasting time. And, you kind of think, I'll be the exception. They'll see the genius in this almost immediately. And it doesn't really happen like that. So great that this, these means are suddenly open to us. And, lots of people make a living from doing it. Incredible. When I first found out about Patreon, I couldn't believe my ears. You can actually charge for people listening. It was like the perfect thing. You just put your stuff out and, I had Barry, which had a little bit of a following, and I've had Clinton, which had a bit of a following. So, I don't personally make millions of pounds from it, but it's so rewarding to be able to master your own destiny and not as an actor be waiting for the bloody phone to ring. And just get on and do it.
Yeah, I mean, even talk about that. Like, I've got to mention cheap. Like, I loved it.
What about it?
A lot of people loved it. I loved it, and I'm
a lot
just,
of people hated it.
No, but it was just.
It was a program I did with Noel Edmonds, 31-hour episodes.
30.
Yeah, and it was. Basically, they didn't spend the money on the writing.
It was like mid-afternoon, wasn't it, or something?
And it would have been good. I promise you, it would have been absolutely flying now. But as is the way with telly, they don't give things a chance. So if it doesn't hit the ground running, you can kiss goodbye to it. So, I mean, I remember going into the meeting with Fraser Steele, I've worked with before, and he's actually funnied up some of my scripts before. And we met on the South Bank. And then what did we do? We did a bit of writing. Then we went to, who made it? Hat Trick. Spent the day writing, and he went, "Yeah, that's fine for one episode." But that was supposed to be what we've written supposed to last over 30 episodes, and all I did for that was ransack all my computer hard drive, everything, and all the loads of gags I'd done for Steve Wright in the Afternoon over 10 years. I had little categories. If there's a joke needed about an umbrella, I'd quickly go umbrella on a piece of paper in the wings, because it was all about products. So you could literally pinpoint if, about foods and stuff. But for the other people, it was quite tough because, a bit younger than me, didn't have the back catalogue of material. And they were I don't think they enjoyed it very much. They were a bit like, what is this? How am I supposed to do 30 hours of TV with no script? And it was a bit of an unfair one on people, but I think, as I say, it would have if we just kept going. I think by the end it was getting quite funny, but the first couple were just awful.
Well, no, but I mean, Killsmith Bino was on there. You had this little kind of cast of the guys that worked in the shop.
They were all lovely, but I think it was if I'm honest, it wasn't a particularly happy period for. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't think some of the others enjoyed it particularly.
I'm just trying to think of umbrella jokes now, though.
I'm still having flashbacks. I'm still having flashbacks of the mankini that Barry wore.
Barry put on a mankini. It's amazing what you'll do in a panic to get a laugh. Anything to get a laugh, amazing. I don't care. Yeah, but yeah, it was good fun.
Talking of the paranormal podcast, I love how it's developed. In the first series, it was scripted, and you were playing. You have people playing characters, doing phone-ins, and where now it's using genuine stories from members of the public, and you're just chatting. And sometimes some of the anecdotes that Clinton tells, I think that's an Alex anecdote. That's he's just doing the accent.
Do you know what? If I'm honest, that is it. It's all from my own life, and do you know, what do I think about that? I think it's a shame that doesn't sound like the character. It's just me. But I think people know what it is, and they know I'm playing that, and they know I'm playing Barry. And it's just a kind of, fudging of the edges. I don't think it matters too much. I think, maybe it does. Maybe I've spoilt it. But I do sometimes think I've spoilt it. But I'm not going to. Really, the days of spending weeks and weeks writing it,
it must have been such hard work.
It was hard work. I mean, during the lockdown, we did that series 3, which was set in a healing festival.
Oh, yeah.
And because we couldn't go anywhere, I just wrote that for weeks on end and recorded it. And I thought I'd just use the time to make a nicely produced, audio treat, which is a bit like a Radio 4 sitcom. And so it was all done online. I don't think anyone met.
The sound was incredible, though. You felt like you were there. All the noise from in the tent, and obviously like Ramon and Clinton sharing a tent.
The hardest thing about that actually was getting the real sound of audio of people at a festival.
Yeah,
the oohs and ahs, and I got it by some nefarious means from the BBC, and a really brilliant recording that you could use, because other stuff that was online sounded so ridiculous. Sadly, I can't remember the guy's name. It's terrible of me not to remember, but the guy who engineered it and put it together was really rather brilliant. And what was his name? God, I can't remember. But with this lovely soundscape of a wellness festival and people coming and going, it sort of sounded realistic, I thought.
Yeah.
So how did Catherine Boyle get? Obviously, Catherine come in as Linda Pollock in Clinton's podcast. How did that kind of happen initially? Well, obviously, you had the thing with Ian Lee previously.
Yeah, I know Ian. I've worked with him for years and years and years doing Barry, and we used to do 11 o'clock show together years ago. And I got in touch with him and said, "Do you know anyone? Does Catherine know anyone who's a lot like her, thinking she won't want to do my thing?
She wouldn't want to do it, yeah.
And she does enough with Ian. Do they really want to have a similar sounding person on my show?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And everyone was up for it. I thought, bloody hell, perfect, because she is extraordinary. I mean, when you're sitting here and you're sort of improvising chit chat, if you throw something to her, you don't want someone going, "What?
What's that?"
Yeah.
She'll always say something. She'll always have something to say about it. You imagine the dead air of going, what? You just need someone to, and she'll always have stuff. And maybe because we're getting older now, you've just got more life to draw from. I remember trying to write when I was 18 in my 20s, and you go, "What am I going to write about? My GCSEs? I mean, no one cares what I've done. So I've done nothing,
But now you're saying about the blurring of character and yourself. I mean, Jim in recent years, he's just started saying, well, Vic Reeves was a character of a light entertainment, but it wasn't a character as Clinton is, or Mrs. Merton, or Dame Edna, or Alan Partridge. It was never as black and white as that with Vic stroke Jim.
No, it wasn't. And I tell you, people often say that, don't they? Steve Wright used to say that to me. There's a real difference, on Radio 2. There's a real difference between Steve Wright, the radio host, and Stephen Wright, me. And I was thinking, pretty similar to me when I've met you. But I don't know, maybe it is. Even if it doesn't feel like it, I think in your own head, you're creating something else. So.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much like that in real life.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
So what have you got lined up next? Touring, I assume, coming up? I've got
my Clinton Baptiste Spectral Intercourse, which I'm doing all over the country from, is it January or February?
And Ireland.
and Ireland. 13th of February we start. And I'm very, very, very busy writing with Brendan O'Hay. Now, Brendan is my director and co-writer, and he wrote that book that Dame Judi Dench has brought out recently about acting Shakespeare. So he's a proper theatre director. We got together through Lewis MacLeod, who worked with him with Ronnie Ancona. And we just get on like a house on fire. And he's very good at the sort of big picture. I'm quite good at writing the jokes. And he writes the jokes as well. I'm not saying he doesn't. But he's very good at sort of the narrative arc. Not that we want to turn it into a play, but, you know, giving it some structure and different rhythms and the light and shade. And this is quite a nice bit that can happen now. Whereas I'm just about writing pathetic double entendres, you know. But he's great. So we are spending a lot of time. I mean, we spend so long every time we've worked together on Clinton stuff. We just have this dream time where I'm going, can we get through the document of like we've got 389 pages of half ideas and things, which we're carefully going through. And we've nearly got through that. And I keep saying, okay, can we just get to it? Because what is the point of rushing through it? The point, it's not homework. We've got to find the stuff. And every time I go, yeah, that was just a kind of funny turn of phrase I wrote down. He'll say, well, let's look at that. And it's painstaking, but what it means, if you've got the luxury of all this time, it means you don't go, that's what we're going to do. Let's start writing. And then a few weeks down the line, you go, oh, I hate this. You know? Yeah. It's just, what are the ideas that really stick around? So currently, I mean, if we did the show with all the stuff we like, it would be 4 hours long. We're just going to try and sub it down a bit.
Yeah. Well, no, I suppose you did the groundwork with Roller Coaster. Do you know what I mean? You kind of like
we've got
groundwork for yourself.
We have got stuff from Roller Coaster that we didn't include, which I think will feature in this thing. Yeah. Or, you know, ideas, not really fully written things, but ideas we thought we were going to use.
You can expand on.
It's a lot good fun. I mean, it's so rewarding to do. I don't really want to do, you know, taxation and and my wife's coming back from seeing my son in Manchester. I've got to go and clear up the house. I can't think of anything more awful. I want to sit here dabbling with the creative stuff.
Real life gets in the way, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
it really does.
I must come and see it. Yeah, great.
Yeah, well, please do. I hope it's going to be good. I'm giving it the large one. Oh yeah, we're
that's going to be amazing.
4 hours to come down. People say, what's a lot of shit? It'll be great. Don't worry.
Now we need a date from Angelos and Barry just to do, you know, even one live gig would be.
Yeah, we keep saying it's been 10 years since we started doing the Angelos and Barry improvising. Yeah. And of course, it's been more than that now. It's about 12 years. And we planned to do it on our 10th anniversary. Never got around to it.
Yeah.
We will do.
20th anniversary.
Yeah, I find it a bit nerve-wracking. The older I get, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit like, God, people have paid to see this. And we're sitting there going, oh, so-and-so did a shit on the...
Margaret in the toilet.
Yeah, toilet stuff. And I always say to Dan, what do you think other comedians make of us? And he goes... Who gives a shit?
Who cares? Yeah.
I do care. I don't want our contemporaries to go, oh, those two idiots. You know, even Derek and Clive stopped in their 30s. The older one is nearly 60. I don't want them to be saying that. You know, I'm sure some people think it's absolutely pathetic. But, you know, we get a lot of people listening to it. And it still makes me laugh. And I think, you know, if I thought it was just pathetic, I don't think I'd do it. But it does make me laugh. However... What do you want to do? You want to laugh or do you want to think about it? I don't want to think about it. I just want to have a laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm obviously seeing Barry do his run of dates recently. So obviously saw you at the Leicester Square Theatre.
Yeah.
Went down absolute
bomb. It went great. I'm going to be doing Barry in autumn of 2026. As soon as I finish Clinton, I'm on tour as Barry.
Fantastic. Have you ever thought of doing a double-header tour as Clinton and Barry?
I have very much thought of that. And it was I was very much dissuaded by, I'm not even going to say who they were, people saying, no, we'd get double the money. Why would we give them something for free?
Right.
But I think, that time will come. I'd love to do a sort of double header, but I'm a little bit worried I've taken quite a lot on to then go on tour as Barry straight after this Clinton thing. But I don't think it'd be nearly as strenuous. I'll do an hour and 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But
at least you haven't got the full prosthetic as well.
No, I'm not doing that anymore. Just stick that nose on and be done with it.
So you've had a hell of a career, Alex. And to quote Ted from Monkey Trousers, well, can you remember his catchphrase that you said every episode? One word. I'm getting the word lummy.
Oh, lummy. Yeah. Well, you know what? I do think it's very kind of you to say I've had a hell of a career. I do feel like I'm ever the bridesmaid, never the bride. I've been in everyone's sitcoms and, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm seen as a jack of all trades. You know, I mean, even in Fireman Sam, I've done that for 10 years. I've written for kids shows. I've done films. I've done everything. And I think sometimes you need to have your brand that you put out there, and that's what you do. And that, because people can't cope with it otherwise. They go, what is he, you know? So I'm kind of hoping this is now my brand, which is
I think so.
My two characters.
Well, no, but then you've got the other end of things saying about getting typecast, and obviously you wouldn't want to get typecast. Sometimes it can be a bad thing.
It can be a bad thing, but then I think I always naively thought I'm just a kind of catch-all bloke from the London suburbs. I'm not particularly posh. I'm not particularly working class. I'm like a suburban, lower middle class bloke who went to a comprehensive. And I always thought that would stand me in good stead, to like a sort of vessel for pouring characters in. It doesn't work like that. And it took me a long time to realise.
Yeah.
You play the thing, and that's fine, because people do play the thing they do. But I don't think I look like anything. I don't think I'm just a sort of standard bloke. And I don't think it's I am an everyman, and it doesn't seem to work like that. So that's why these characters like Clinton and Barry are so extreme and far removed. But as I say, I would love to do something just as me, and just go and do stand up about what is interesting to a 57-year-old man in Britain.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, oh, isn't it funny how your legs go? Oh, my poor back, because no one wants to hear that. But just your take on what you're seeing. I mean, I feel really, really arrogant and pompous the way I've been talking in this podcast. Like a therapy session, and how brilliant I am and how busy I am. But I don't feel that. I mean, I do feel like I've just been a bloke who turns up and does a bit.
No, keep doing what you're doing, Alex. Seriously, just
as I said earlier, Alex, we've had so many people come on this podcast who have bigged you up and how much they love working with you and you as a person. So you're doing something right.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that. That's nice. Yeah. Thank you.
So thanks for joining us today. Thanks for all the work you've done, all the stuff you've done, Vic and Bob, and beyond. And may you long keep doing it. And that was quite a boast.
Yeah,
and you guys, thank you very much.
Keep doing it, Alex. Keep doing it.
All right, lots of love.
Lots of love. Alex. See you soon.
Thank you all for listening to this edition of Quite a Boast. Special thanks to Matt Lucas for permission to use the Peanuts music as our theme tune, and thanks to Ed Lewis for this edit. Thank you to Jake Chesham for permission to use the photo from his 1995 shoot of Jim and Bob in our various online locations for the podcast. And of course, thank you very much to Jim Moyer and Bob Mortimer, without whom this podcast, well, it just wouldn't exist, would it? Remember to check out Paula's Divine Comedians podcast as well, and to join the Reeves Mortimer Depository of Curious Stuff Facebook group. And I think you'll agree that really was a lot of fun. Goodbye.